Once upon a time in a small village lived a young man named Ammon. He worked at a modest shoe store, polishing dusty shoes, arranging boxes, and serving customers who never remembered his name. Every day, he watched people try on new shoes they wore to interviews, weddings, and big cities far beyond the village. Ammon, however, wore the same old pair every day, cracked, worn out, and faded like his dreams. But inside, Ammon had a fire. He wanted to start his own business, open his own shoe store, not just any store, but one where even the poorest could walk in and walk out with dignity. But dreams require more than fire. They need courage. One rainy afternoon, a tall man walked in. He wore a tailored suit, shiny leather shoes, and had a presence that made everyone turn. Ammon greeted him politely. The man pointed to a simple pair of shoes. "These remind me of where I started," he said. As Ammon wrapped the shoes, the man looked at him and asked, "What's your dream?" Ammon hesitated. He wasn't used to being asked that. "I want to start my own shoe shop one day for people like me, but I don't have money or guidance," he replied. The man smiled. "I used to polish shoes too, in this very town. Then someone gave me a chance." He pulled out a folded note and handed it to Ammon. "Here's my address. Come meet me tomorrow. I'll guide you. It's not easy, but if you're serious, I'll show you the path." Ammon stood frozen, clutching the note as the man left. That night, Ammon couldn't sleep. His heart was loud with possibilities, but his mind whispered fear. What if he's lying? What if I fail? What if they laugh at me? He stared at the note one last time, then slipped it into a drawer and closed it. He never went. Years passed. Ammon still worked at the shoe store. His hair grayed a little. His shoulders bent a little. The fire in his heart, though still there, had dimmed to a flicker. One day, a big car stopped outside the shop. A young man stepped out, stylish, confident, sharp but polite. He walked in and said, "Excuse me, can I see the owner?" Ammon chuckled sadly. "You're looking at him, but I don't own this place. I just work here." The young man looked confused, then smiled softly. "You don't remember me, do you?" Ammon shook his head. "I used to come here as a child. You were always kind to me. I once asked you if I could have the pair of shoes in the corner, the black ones. You told me I had to work hard and earn them myself. You were the first person who made me believe in effort." The man paused. "That advice changed my life. I worked hard, saved every penny, and now I own one of the biggest shoe chains in the region." Ammon's eyes widened. "But here's the part that will sting." The man said gently, "Years ago, my mentor told me he offered help to a boy in a shoe shop, gave him his address and a chance. The boy never came. That mentor was my first investor." Ammon's breath caught. He suddenly remembered the note, the drawer, the opportunity he buried. The young man looked at him with respect and said, "You shaped my mindset, but you forgot to shape your own destiny." He placed a pair of brand new shoes on the counter. "These are yours, not for what you've done, but for what you once dreamed." Then he left. Ammon held the shoes in his hands. They were perfect. They fit, but they hurt not his feet, but his heart. He walked home that night with new shoes and an old regret. The next morning, he did something different. He took out a notebook, wrote "Today I begin," and started learning about business from books, from free courses, from the same internet he had ignored for years. It was late, but not too late. Within 2 years, he opened a small shop called Second Steps, not just for selling shoes, but for giving second chances to boys like him. And outside that store, on a wooden board, were these words: "Opportunities don't always knock. Sometimes they whisper. Don't ignore the note. Don't ignore the knock. Don't ignore the voice inside you." Moral of the story: most dreams don't die because of lack of opportunity, they die because of fear, hesitation, and self-doubt. Sometimes the only thing standing between you and a different life is one decision. So, next time life hands you a note, a chance, or a choice, don't wait. Lace up your courage, try on your dream, and take the first step.